nominated for this documentary?
Many years.
I don't know if this thing will
No, it's okay. No, it's okay. No, it's okay. No, I don't need it. No. I'm not baby.
Just in case.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I had a question, but I'll come back. Somebody else.
Well, let me paraphrase, I made that film many years ago. At that time, the Academy of Motion Picture Science had no Asians in the documentary branch. Academy of Motion Picture, you have a director's branch, producers, cinematographer, editor, set designer, makeup, costume, feature documentary, short narrative, animation, etc. I was surprised was nothing because there was no Asian member in the documentary branch, period. At that time, I think entire Academy about a little over 1,000 members. I can count with my one hand of the Asian members, and many of them, they were performers, actors.
What year?
1989. So I was surprised I was nominated. Obviously, the film was good enough, But on the other hand, majority of Academy members are Jewish. Because after World War II, prior to World War II, Hollywood was very much dominated by Europeans, like Hitchcock, big directors. And subsequently, they sort of got weeded out and come in with a new blood. Spielberg as an instrument to drum up Holocaust issues. Remember Holocaust, remember. So Academy members became more and more Jewish dominated. And unfortunately, I looked at the history of the Academy. That year there was no Holocaust movie, except a film is competing with me. And it's about the Hitler psychiatrists examining twins. Normally, the feature documentary, the maximum length is 95 minutes. That particular year, they changed the rule. To feature,
Just for you?
no, for the other film.
Oh,
This is 86 minutes. I always go by the rule, okay? There's another film, it's called Hotel Communist. And it's about Hitler's, a psychology examining group. It's 4 hours. They change the rule. They accept that film. Why? Because none of the other categories had a theme about Holocaust. And it's all rigged. It's all rigged. I knew, And then, the film won, okay? And if we have a no Asian voter, majority the voters were the Jewish population, and the subject is about Holocaust. I was very upset, but yet I started to understand how this landscape is working. Ultimately, about 5 years ago, I was inducted to the Oscars as an Academy Lifetime Member program. I watched about 300 movies a day. A lot.
How do you vote, Mama?
Oh yeah. And I'm very diligent. I watch every single film. I make notes because I knew I was in a very disadvantaged position. It might be, So last year I voted for OJ, which was 5 hours. I voted. The Academy changed the rules all the time. And I voted for this year Shape of Water. I voted for Frances McDormand.
Jonathan Field.
I voted Best Original Screenplay. I voted for Frances McDormand, and Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman,
Yeah. And then I voted for sure afterward. I voted for Coco because I watched all the films from beginning to end. Unfortunately, all this piles DVD.
They send you DVDs?
Yeah. You should see my office. There is not one single film. There's not one single film speaking on behalf of Asian Americans. What is going on, you know? And
Well,
just
Bobby won. He's a Filipino. Bobby Reyes? No. Bobby, he won the Academy this year
for
for music. He,
on the music,
yeah.
that's a whole different
I
ballgame.
know.
Yeah.
But
There's a
at
lot
least
of
there's Asia.
yeah, very few Asians,
I know.
very few Asians. 2 years ago, they had this Asian kids coming with a briefcase. It's so stereotypical. On the other hand, what really makes me happy is I remember I was at NYU. When I first started at NYU, I was the only Chinese American, Asian American in the entire faculty. I was a 10 years old. I had no Asian student, maybe one or two. Today, about quarter Asians from Philippines, from Korea, from Japan, especially from China. Because parents, your generation, didn't believe entertainment or mass media as important elements
Lawyers or doctors, right?
to reorient thinking of a massive American people who have no contact with the Asian, you know. Yeah, and my son, you know, he's terrible with math. I said, what's wrong with you? You're supposed to be good at math.
Everybody wants to be a doctor and nurses.
That's right. That's right. So when I started this film, I had no clue. And, you know, when I look back, this is a really interesting fact I want to share with you. After all the testimony, everything, blah, 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 everybody. And I look at, I just sitting there listening again. The only person is the most credible is the black dancer. Charlene. She said, I come on the stage, boom, 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 boom. There was a fight. There were guys, 2 white guys and the Asian guy. 2 white guys they were on the floor. The Asian guy won, okay? Just listen, okay? It's a powerful statement. But because I actually had to take her out to get her leather pants, leather something, you know, she's like, what do you call it? I don't want to use the prostitute, but in a streaker, okay?
A female worker.
She's an opportunist.
No, she's not. But because the racial issue within the core system, they never believe a word what she said. They threw her out. They believe the rest in Caldwell, the white dancer, because you're motherfuckers, we all on the job, as credible. But in retrospect, Starlene's testimony is so important. How so? Can you imagine, okay, 1982, 2 white guys, 6'5", baseball player, got in this bar, and they got beat down on the floor by little Chinese chicken. Psychologically, what was going on in their head? Unexpected. Never believed. How could that happen to you? So this internal psychological revenge made them to go after Vincent Choy at McDonald's. To me, the whole case was premeditated. But premeditation is impossible to do. If they had If I was at the time, was Vincent's lawyer, I would argue how important the Stalin's testimony, because historically speaking, all the Asian men are geeks, they're good at math, they don't fight back, okay? And here, you have all of a sudden the Asian men beat the shit out of a two white guy. But Vincent Chin at the time, or Lily, at the time, 1982, there were no Asian lawyers. We were not encouraged to become a lawyer.
Was Helen? Helen's here.
Helen was my classmate.
No, but she wasn't a lawyer.
No, she was never a lawyer.
So you were in that Princeton class?
Yeah.
First class.
Yeah, that's all.
3 girls?
Yeah. 12 girls. Everything else. They hired a Japanese real estate lawyer.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh,
There were no Asian civil rights criminal lawyer existed in 1982.
Liz? Yeah, they did. Liz.
And we don't have,
He had no clue what he was doing.
No clown. Oh.
Okay.
and we don't have Al Sharpton.
Yeah.
There's no commingling going.
No. There's some holes in the film I didn't include because it was so complicated. It took me 5 years. This lawyer hired a paralegal. Yeah, paralegal.
Yeah.
Huh?
The Chinese.
No, the Japanese real estate lawyer.
Hired a paralegal. Yeah.
Okay, both parties you can pre-interview the witness. Both the Evans family as well Lily's family. There's a paralegal. Her name's Liza Chen. Interview the witness. She paraphrased.
Oh.
Don't you think this is racially motivated? Okay, and recorded and kept the tape. Then the witness went to the opposite side. Oh, did Vincent's lawyer interview you? That's yes. They subpoenaed the tape. And in Cincinnati, and all white jury. And Lily had a card.
No black jury?
No, all white.
No, they pick
Why?
the jury. They pick it for themselves. 1989. Yeah, they pick who they think is going to vote for them.
If
But-
you want both,
Lily went to court. No Asian support. Only Lily, there was Mrs. Kim and Helen and me and Renee.
I was too young.
The only Asians there. Okay.
I would have hired a Jewish lawyer.
Right. We did not learn from the African Americans.
They-
When you want to dealing with the civil rights, you got to have a massive movement. When they had the Detroit March, and a defense lawyer says, because you got too much publicity, therefore they won the second trial in Cincinnati. Okay? Lily had a plug in. The defense lawyer was smart.
But they said there's no publicity
In Cincinnati.
Ohio.
Yeah.
But then in Detroit, they
That's
have
right.
publicity,
Yeah.
and I saw that there's a lot of.
That's right. That's why he was found guilty for 25 years in jail. But
Yes,
they appealed.
yes,
Okay.
they appeal and they vote. In a conservative.
Correct. Okay.
He lives in Nevada.
No.
places that you don't.
So, Mrs. Chen had a cotton in her ear.
She didn't want to give
And do you know what the defense lawyer was so clever? Didn't argue anything. Played over again. The tape.
Oh.
You did. And I was outside. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. That was 5 years I've been studying for it. And then I said, I gotta have my own strategy. I gotta get this motherfucker, okay? So when he was coming down at the court after he won it, I
Yes,
walked up to him. As Ronald Evans, congratulations, you won. He was shocked. You Asian woman. I mean, I had a t-shirt and short pants, Who are you? I said, I'm the one trying to get you to use this. He said, we're gonna have a little party in the bar, will you join me? I said, sure. I told my crew. By then, there was only 2 people, me on camera and the sound person. I said, let's go. This is chance for the interview. But he was so savvy with the media. The minute I walked in, he said, put your camera down. Don't you know what to do? I put my camera down. They were watching some kind of football, or base. Yeah, football game, and drinking. It was like 11:30 or 12 o'clock. He was a heavy drinker. And I said, Ronald, if you don't allow me to be interviewed, I'm going to only have a one-sided story, Vincent story. You're going to hate it. So a month later, his lawyer actually contacted me and says, yeah, come to Detroit. So I went to Detroit, interviewed him.
That's how you got those film clips of them sitting in the living room.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering how you got that.
Oh God, I was nervous, I was sweating. Look, okay. I sat in the room, in the couch, Nita, Ronald, and Mike. Sort of like a triangle.
Yeah.
Then he said, I don't want to sit here, I want to move there. So he moved over there, and I didn't have time to reset the lights. It was nervous wreck. Then the tape recording was not working.
Oh.
Battery's dead.
Oh my.
Okay, calm down. I sent the sound person out. It was Sunday. I need a 12 size D battery. 24. In Detroit, okay? Meanwhile, I tried to having a conversation. Oh, can I show you some of your old pictures? Anita brought all the pictures. And we went over all his pictures, like a stack. No, this is no good. That one's no good. This one. I said, what up? Oh, everyone is with me with the bottles, okay? Finally, the sound person came back with the battery. We put it on, we interviewed him. He refused sign release unless he hears the interview over again.
Yeah.
I don't believe Allah, I don't believe in Jesus Christ, I don't believe in, but I was blessed. Because the sound person was so nervous, he flipped the tape. Nervous, when you want the tape, those 1/4 inch, he by mistake he flipped it, so we recorded his first interview on the base of the tape instead of emotion.
Okay.
So he put on his earphone. Obviously he didn't hear anything, but he's got fucking egos.
Oh my goodness. So he's going, he had you. Yeah.
He signed the release. And Nina, and I was really nice because by then we were just really exhausted. She ordered some Kentucky Fried Chicken, and we were having dinner. And Ronald went to the refrigerator, opened the freezer, brought back this gigantic some kind of vodka or gin. He went like a gobbled down. I said, Ronald, aren't you going to go back to work? He said, hell no. I said, what do you mean? Camera stop, okay? I didn't have a camera. He said, if I went back to work, all my salary would be garnished by the old lady, meaning Mrs. Chin.
She won some sort of civil suit where he was supposed to pay $50,000.
25,000.
I saw 50,000.
No, 25. Now it's a couple million.
Yes, it's $8 million now
Yeah.
based upon the interest.
Yeah.
Oh, because he hasn't
He
paid.
never paid.
I think he paid one or two payments of
The
$200.
funny thing is
That was
So
it.
he didn't go back to work?
Yeah.
Nope,
No,
he
never went back
to work. And that's why he
Nina
moved to
supported her.
Nevada.
Nina supported him the entire time. His wife's expression. My camera's now.
And what did he do?
At that moment, I finally realized he has not out, doesn't have an ounce of remorse.
Nope. It showed. It showed. It showed on there. There isn't any remorse. He's not sorry. It's premeditated.
Yeah.
He bashed somebody's head in with a bat.
And,
So he's smiling.
and they divorced.
They finally got divorced. Well,
She divorced, and the
fed
lawyer
up.
I was
divorced.
trying to figure why she didn't leave him before.
Yeah, the lawyer divorced, and he used a fictitious name, lives in Las Vegas.
We found him.
Yes, I found him.
We
Yeah,
found
yeah,
him. We
yeah,
know
yeah.
where he lives.
He lives in Las Vegas.
We know where he lives.
Yeah.
We were at his house.
Who was it?
So the
We went
Willie
to get his
Chin
house.
estate is.
Last year, our friend Corky Lee,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he went out there. and
Cokie wanna go
he
protest.
he held a candlelight on the anniversary of
Vincent Chen's death.
I thought
He
there's
held
two
a
killers.
candlelight vigil
Ronald and the other
Yeah.
one.
in
What
front of
happened to the
John
other
Eben's
He's
house.
dead.
Oh,
Died
he's
he died last year, January 11th, 2017.
But how come you never interviewed the guy? The
Oh,
other
He was
killer?
there.
The son.
He didn't say a lot. It was because the main killer
Yeah.
was Ron.
The son held him down, the father beat him with the bat.
Yeah, but can you believe it? You're going into the back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
An Asian
And the
guy.
worst part is all the policemen,
Saw it.
they were moonlighting.
I know, but I think
They
they
work
were
in
afraid
McDonald's.
to shoot a white man.
Yeah.
I think they were afraid to shoot a white man. There were black cops in a black neighborhood,
Yeah.
and you're not going to shoot a white man, right?
90%,
In 1982.
Yeah.
94% black. That's the
Yeah,
area.
yeah. They weren't going to do that.
Ah, no, I thought something happened with that.
Anyway, it's a landmark. And any questions?
Maybe you can redo it again with the new technology and just
Okay, so the whole idea of putting in the music and the singing of the black, what were you trying to create with that?
Motown.
Motown.
At that time was Motown.
Motown.
Yeah,
So you're
Detroit.
It used to be a really big deal, Detroit, Motown, right?
Okay, now I realize I'm doing a new film about camellia oil. 山茶油.
Oh, oil, literally oil, okay.
It's one of the oldest oil from tea tree in Hunan province. And 5,000 years ago, that oil was so precious, only the king and queen can consume. And now it's been automated.
Sucking it out of something.
You know, what I'm saying is, our world is changing so rapidly. My son is 22. How old are you? How old are you?
I am 29.
What?
29.
Whoa. How about you? How about you?
31.
29?
31.
Sure.
Your son is younger than this.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm 22.
When year
The
was that?
baby one, almost 2. The baby will be 2 next
He's
month.
talking about virtual currency.
Yeah.
I'm learning. The biggest, most popular class at NYU, Stanford, Harvard, MIT is virtual currency. Do you know anything about it? No. Do you want to know?
No.
It's illegal. Come on. Get on the board, okay? Get on.
Yeah.
I did not realize 1982, in fact, was beginning of outsourcing. Got nothing to do with the Japanese.
That's right. No.
Well, wasn't it?
And 1973, I made a film called From Spike to Spindles about garment industry in Chinatown. Then one day, oh God, they went to 13 non-union states in the south. Then from the south, like a divan, went to Mexico. Then from Mexico, went to China. Outsourcing.
That's where
Got
it was.
nothing to do with anything
has to
else.
do with
It's the
dollars
most, the greedy person, you gotta find the cheapest labor, okay? Cheapest labor is, at that time, was China. All the outsourcing, got nothing to do with the Japanese import company.
But I
And
have
the union was so
understand.
corrupted, did not educate the people.
Because
Wasn't
it's
it
big
also
because they want the
understood
union
that
to
the
go on.
courts-
A UAW, UAW can do NYU to unionize.
They will never
Us.
educate their members because it's the money on the higher.
That's right, yeah.
was very poor. The quality of the
Yeah, the
cars
quality of
had
the
gone
car.
down.
The quality of
That
the
was
car.
also one of the reasons why production went to Japan.
Because the executives, like Ford, they don't listen. The Americans said, we want smaller car, we want smaller car. They
But the
never
quality of the car performance was also very poor. And I remember this at this time. That's why a lot of people were no longer buying American-made cars.
Yeah, you
They
never
would
had
break
to-
down.
Japanese-
They would break down.
You ever
The
have to
Japanese
educate
also brought in smaller car, and
And-
that's why.
And if you,
Doing gas
you're
guzzlers, too.
efficient.
Yes, and fuel
And that-
efficient. They didn't listen. The executive are too
Well,
up
let's put it
there,
this way.
and they didn't
If they made a washing machine that would last forever, none of us would be buying
Bye-bye.
new ones.
Yeah,
No,
the
it's people out of
interesting thing
business.
is, what's your name?
John,
John, okay. Years later, I don't know, you know, Wen Ho Lee case?
Yes.
Yeah.
We worked on that too.
Wen Ho Lee, he
Uh-huh.
was accused of Chinese spy.
Oh, yeah.
Out of Los, out of.
There's another book for them.
Helen wrote.
I made a short film about it.
Oh, yeah.
And I went to meet his lawyer in
Brian?
Los Angeles.
Was it Brian?
Yeah, Brian, yeah. And he said, you know what he said to me? Because Vincent Jin case, I decided to be a lawyer. I decided to be a criminal lawyer. So the film, the case, though we lost, but it gained a tremendous amount of momentum in terms of awareness among young people. You can just live here, making dime, nickel a dime, just making money, without considering anything other issue. Asians did not vote for the longest time,
I
including
know.
myself,
That's our problem.
including my got nothing to do with the politics. Okay?
They voted as soon as they turned 18.
And so Vincent Chin case really brought up a lot of young people's interest. What is America's legal system? Legal system basically dominated by Jewish.
Yeah.
Period. Period. Okay?
Well,
The
it
street
is.
Jewish,
Still is.
Everything.
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 And when they defend Asian case, say no clue. No clue. No clue.
absolutely not. Christine, can I say that when
Yeah.
I first saw this film, it was in 1988.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
at Cornell at Ikasu, and this was being shown, and you were just about to go into you had just gotten the nomination for the Academy Award. And I myself was just coming into realizing my Chinese identity. And this woke me up. It made me realize how much was still not accepted.
Yeah.
And no matter what we did,
Even today.
we're still not accepted. I wanted to know, when you were making this movie, how difficult was it to try and break that stereotype of Asian American, Chinese American?
Is it easier because you were
Kiss my ass. I had to go on high grade. You know, movie takes time. You know, at the time we were shooting film. So when I started switching from architecture to filmmaking, I learned all the techniques. I know how to shoot. I know how to record. I know how to edit. You know, but I'm not very good for the raising money. You know, so I applied I went to Corporation for Public Broadcast (CPB), and they liked the idea. They summoned me to Washington D.C. First question they asked me, you don't have a journalism background. How can you handle such a hardcore criminal case? Secondly, you're Asian. How can you be objective? Dude, I mean, questions are ridiculous, okay? And thirdly, I mean, it was, who could be your constituencies? Detroit is a small city. You're not gonna have anybody gonna watch your movie. Three major questions I had to resolve. Yes, I was trained as an architect, and I was never trained as a journalist. So I flew to Detroit with money from a wonderful minister from the Presbyterian Church, Christine. Give me money. I flew to Detroit. I went to the PBS station and CNN station. I said, I need a journalist. So they provide me Juanita Anderson. Juanita has like 2 degrees of journalism from some Yankees, Wayne State College. Okay, I got that secure. How can I secure constituency? I didn't know Detroit station also served Greater Toronto. Huge Asian American. So that guy. And the executive, the programming step in as an executive producer, Bob Lawson. Thirdly, how can I be objective? I have no way to answer. It's okay. You don't answer. Here, do come over from GBH, white boy. He will be my story consultant, Irv Dresner. Irv Dresner's movie is Show and Tell. China is going capitalism. Here's American Express. Show and Tell. Always with this stupid trench coat, usually the reporters would. He said, I don't like music in movies. I said, this is about Motown. Most famous American music, capital. I've got to use the music. Music is manipulating people's emotions. All right. There was one scene which I took it out. It was, workers go to lunch like at 11 o'clock in the morning, and every lunchtime they have some kind of sports event. This particular event was mud wrestling of a woman.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
But because it's a sports, before any sport you're supposed to sing national anthem. But those dudes were drunk, okay? They couldn't remember the lyric.
Oh, gee.
No. It was hilarious. And he said to me, you are looking down the blue-collar worker. You would never do that in the Asian community. That's not true. That is not true. I shot this scene in Detroit, Chinatown. They will play mahjong with the money on the table, okay? Gambling.
Are you looking at Atlantic City?
Do you still have these film clips that you're talking about? Yeah. In your office?
Okay. All right. We got an argument. I said, this dude doesn't understand. Next day, I changed the lock in the editing room. He couldn't get in. So the funding started. And me and Renee had to do all different kind of fundraising. Finally, went to the Oscar. I didn't even have a poster. I had nothing. People said, what are you going to wear? I said, screw you. I have no idea. I'm really proud that I actually record the most important Asian American history, why the history was unfolding. And that is without knowing the outcome, without knowing that have any kind of producer, recognition, without knowing any of this. Has a lot to do with me as a person, as a woman, grew up in China, People's Republic of China, communist, moved to Hong Kong, colonial state, moved to South Korea as neo-colonized by America, moved to Japan, which is monarchy, then moved to United States as advanced capitalism, all within 14 years. I speak multiple languages, none of them good. I speak Shanghainese, Cantonese, Santo, Korean, Japanese, you name it, okay? But for me, to transport from a communist country to advanced capitalist system when I was a teenager, it made my consciousness very different. And also I didn't have a parental supervisor, I was free. Which is good or bad. And I ended up in Princeton. then Columbia. And all the IBD. That's the one I met Helen. Helen was gone. Helen was like this crappy girl I ever met, you know. Really, everything's a match, you know. And I was at the time belonged to Black Panther youth. Black Panther, do you know Black Panther?
Wasn't Helen also a member?
Huh?
Helen Jr.?
No, she was not Black Panther.
No?
Oh, there's a new book that just came out. I'm the only Asian in Black Panther party.
But I have a question for you.
So I used to go to classes with this sunglasses, army jacket, walking around. Power to the people.
So how, I have a question, how did a lot of Asian Americans supported Mrs. Chen when she went down?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I said, how did she survive
barely.
with all the
Through
bills?
emotions.
At the end, she was so tormented, and she left the United States, and she went back
She
to
went back to
China.
China. Yeah, she went to China.
Oh, there was a 1998.
She came back to the United States.
1998, she moved back. And she lived in Canton. And I happened to be the dean of a city university of Hong Kong. She said, visit me. I said, sure. What should I bring? I brought a refrigerator to her hometown. 1998, China was still very, and having a refrigerator is very expensive. I carried the refrigerator on the tray and delivered to her, and she made me a sweater. And we had a great laugh because she thought of me, you know. I never tried to use her or anything, you know. And she spoke to her son, which is very
I
difficult.
understood her. We understood her.
Yeah, it's a little difficult. I had to translate all the time, you know. Yeah, can't
Well,
do
my
it.
question to you is, with you going around showing this film, how has it been received among the audience? Do we feel that we have not been served with justice? How do you think that the audience feels in reception to your film?
Obviously.
We're angry. We're still angry.
The case should be won.
We're still angry.
And
We're still angry.
I criticize us ourselves.
I do too.
We do the film.
We did not know civil rights law.
Our kids
We did
don't
not
know
want to
this.
learn from.
Yeah.
We did not learn from the African American. No civil rights case ever won without massive demonstration, massive protest. Sometimes,
People
You
still don't
did,
know.
but they did that
and
time.
sometimes
And I was
it's people's
surprised.
Our people
No,
still
not
don't
only-
know. No, it wasn't that big.
only
Not
Detroit.
that big.
It wasn't that big. It was only Detroit.
What about,
At least
what
they
about when
came
the
out
policemen?
a little bit.
The